if he boxed on pay-per-view in America and became a pay-per-view star there as well as here, then you can start talking about 30, 40, 50 million a fight. There is a lot more than 10 or 15 million. Mayweather wasn't necessarily global money. It was more American pay-per-view money. He was never really aligned with any companies commercially. He never really had sponsors apart from his last fight against Pacquiao, which was when he had Hublot on his shorts. The first deal he has done. He was making so much money in pay-per-view. I guess he was a global success, but he never really went to other markets and fought there. That is something we want to do, and he wants us to do. He's talking about Joshua there, just to interject. I'd like to see him fight at Madison Square Garden, just as a fight for the heavyweight world title. Vegas doesn't really flick my switch as much as New York and Madison Square Garden. It depends on what US TV comes up with. The only way you could box Deontay Wilder in America is if it were on pay-per-view in America. Otherwise, you would have to do it here. China is a real possibility, definitely. My dad has just done a big snooker deal out there for 10 years. There's definitely money out there. So those are the words of Eddie Hearn, the promoter of IBF and WBA heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua. He's talking about the Mayweather blueprint and how Mayweather was able to make all his money without having sponsorships and whatnot. And, he's looking at how he can maybe take some of the good things that Mayweather did and implement them into the plan for Anthony Joshua. Joshua isn't making as much as Mayweather, but you have to imagine that long term he'll be breaking Mayweather's records. And Mayweather, from a strategic point of view, was ingenious in the way that he managed to generate all the money. Because basically, Mayweather played on racial prejudices. He played on racial divisions. That's what Mayweather's whole marketing tactic was about. Really, really playing on the racial divisions in America and getting people to hate him, getting people to tune in to see him lose. And it worked a treat. A very unfortunate way to make money, but a way that works, because America, we don't need to go into the history, has a very, very difficult history when it comes to race relations in fairly recent times. And all countries have their issues, but America is more extreme in terms of their race problems than most other countries, certainly in the Western world. And Mayweather played on that and did so successfully to make a lot of money. Joshua's not going down that road. He's obviously not in the United States. Joshua is all about his performances in the ring, and so far they've been very exciting. And he's a heavyweight, he's knocking people out, so that sells very well. Kind of like Mike Tyson used to sell all around the world because he was exciting in the ring. And on top of that, one thing that Joshua brings to the table, which I mentioned in a previous video, and it's not to be underestimated, Joshua brings female attention. And with that female attention, he could make crazy amounts of money and push it beyond what Mayweather's made. The potential is definitely there. Eddie Hearn's talking about going to different markets and whatnot, expanding Joshua's appeal worldwide. He could end up, if he keeps winning, that is, it's important he keeps winning, but he could end up breaking all records, breaking Mayweather's record, breaking all these guys' records, if he manages to become a global star in the way that Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali were. Yeah, I could see Joshua breaking all records. So I am interested in this simply for the fact that I like boxing being promoted. It's the sport I love. I like boxing to be a mainstream sport everywhere. Because the more mainstream boxing is everywhere, the more kids will be inspired to box. And the more people boxing means the more talent that we're going to see coming through. So it's a win-win situation as a fan as far as I'm concerned. Let me know what you feel about everything I've quoted in this video and my thoughts on it. It's happening, I'm out.